What is going on, everybody? My name is Japes. Welcome back to a New Year's Eve / New Year's edition of my Path to Power. Before we get into the episode, if you guys are looking to pick up any MSP or PSN cards, make sure to check out thegamekeys.co.uk. Or if FIFA coins are more your thing, check out justfifacoins.com. You can use the code Japes to get yourself a 5% discount on their instant delivery. So, this is going to be a long special episode, partly because I'm right around hitting that 300,000 subscriber mark. It's the Footmas Cup / New Year's Cup. It's New Year's Eve / New Year's Day, and I just wanted to start off 2015 the right way, or end 2014 the right way, however you want to look at it. So, depending where you are, it depends what time this is going to go live. So first off, I wanted to say thank you guys all for your amazing support for the past year. And in that same token, I'm looking forward to, good things. I've got some really cool ideas for stuff to do in 2015, and I've got some people that I think are going to help me out to achieve some of those goals and ideas along the way. So I'm looking forward to taking you guys along for the ride. Now into the gameplay. What on earth was that attempted clearance? Oh my goodness, my gears were grinding. And looking back, that's my fault. It's one of those sad realizations that you have to come to, that if I had not been holding left trigger, he would not have gone for the bicycle clearance. He probably would have headed it, and I wouldn't have given up a goal to bring this guy back level. But that's okay, because I still believe in Emenike and the luck that Emenike brings. Lovely shot right into the keeper, but there is that little bit of luck that can make the difference in these tight matches. Now, dragged him down. I was struggling with this team. I'm not going to lie. This 4-2-3-1 side, while the formation for me, for the most part, is really, really good, I don't know what it is about this team that I can't get it to do exactly what I want it to do. And there are multiple amounts of things that I could look at, but Akaminko, the savior, 65th minute, one of the best silver defenders out there, puts it away with, I believe, his weaker left foot. So I was pretty thrilled about that one. And in the 90th minute, Ronaldinho skipping by, dribbling all over the place. I had to go for the chip. You guys know I can't resist, and it's Emenike, right place, right time, yet again. He poaches another goal for me. So we're moving on into the finals, and I just noticed that he had a red card. I don't actually remember what that was for, but interesting. So heading into the finals of the Footmas Cup, and I was optimistic about winning it a second time because, hey, that's a lot of players and consumables and stuff to add to your club, and it sets me up in a really, really good place to build some sweet squads and be able to maintain those squads and not spend money on squad fitnesses and healing cards and all that other stuff that I spend money on all the time. So this guy, 4-3-3 with Thiago Silva and Digne, and I believe that's Sirigu in goal. So it's a hybrid, but it's not a crazy hybrid, and this is the only one of the game. Tevez was not doing the job, so he subbed on Barbo, and somehow Barbo in the 87th minute is the hero with a ridiculously well-placed finish past my keeper, and we lost the freaking cup. You guys have no idea how disappointed I was, and you guys know exactly what's going to happen now. Squad's getting sold. Everybody's gone. Except for maybe a few players that I'll keep in just because I think they're maybe nice utility players to have around the club. Felipe Melo, Ronaldinho. We'll hold on to them because for the most part, they can be subbed on and they can definitely do the job. So I looked at the players in my club that I had and I thought, all right, I could do Serie A. And then I thought, forget about it. Let's go buy a kind of expensive inform. So Danny Welbeck, picked him up for about 84,000 coins and decided to start building a squad around him. I had Santi Cazorla from my free pack, but the way the squad ends up working out, I end up not using Santi. So I'm going to use the Ox instead. But we are going to be using the 3-5-2, which if you guys watched my 500th win episode on my main account earlier today, you know that I'm having some success with it and I'm enjoying it for the moment. So we had some stuff sell. We got some decent coins. You can see now I'm down to 10,000 coins. So I just went out and bought the whole team. We've got Inform Dermich, Inform Welbeck up front, Çalhanoğlu behind them. We've got Stalker on the left, Ox on the right, Wilshere and Bender in the midfield. And then I spent on the defense this time because the 3-5-2, if it's one thing that's important, you have to have good center backs that that are going to not only have a little bit of pace, but are going to be able to intercept passes where need be. So we went out and we got Boateng, Koscielny, and Socrates. So these are the instructions that I tend to run with the 3-5-2 at the moment. The interesting ones, I suppose, the left mid and the right mid, I use stay wide. Supporting runs, I think I use get in behind and then stick to position. So realistically, when I'm attacking, my two outside midfielders a lot of the times will end up even with their back line or even with my strikers as well. So it creates an interesting dynamic of almost a 3-2-1-4 formation. And that's when I tend to hold possession around their final third. So we're going to get into some of the gameplay with this team. We're now on into the New Year's Cup, which gives you a 7,500 coin untradeable pack, all rares, I think is what it is. So you can get players, consumables, lots of really good stuff. So I wanted to obviously win this one as well. And it's the Ox right here. Nice little bit of work cuts inside. And when in doubt, you charge that B button up and you aim to hit the top net, the best net. Nice crushing finish from Ox to give me a 1-0 lead. Now we're at 45th minute. He makes a mistake. He runs into his own player. I'd be a little salty about that as well, but he's trying to force it through. The ball moves faster than the man, remember, and Dermich with a nice chip. We have used non-informed Dermich before, and I actually thought that he was really quite impressive at the start of Ultimate Team. I used him in Path to Power. I was less than impressed. But we've got the informed one right now, so we're giving him another chance because he does have really, really well-rounded skill set. So this guy out 2-0 first half. That was enough for him, and I thought, great, he's not wasting any of my time. I'm not going to waste any more time going on into the next round in this tournament. And I was expecting to see some pretty sweaty squads, some pretty decent squads, because this is, it's a big coin total and there's no entry requirements. So what do you know? Gervinho, Doumbia, and Aubameyang up front. I wonder what his game plan is. But actually, when you see someone with a squad kind of like this, you know that they're going to just hold the right trigger down, try to run at you the entire game. So for the most part, it's pretty easy to shut down players. And you could tell from the way his midfield was set up as well that he really wasn't thinking about a very well-rounded team. He was just thinking about pace. And I don't know how Danny Welbeck didn't score that, and he manages to score this. So FIFA gods, thank you so much. I wish you guys a very happy new year as well. It was one of those finishes or one of those goals that I was like, all right, I guess I probably should have scored from the first, but we'll take it. Dermich absolutely crushed and clattered into by his defender right there. We're going to give this to Çalhanoğlu, free kick specialist. He's absolutely amazing from free kicks. 29 yards out, right in the sweet spot, little over 2 bars, curl it on in. Give me that 2-goal lead in the 37th minute. So he's definitely up there with with some of the best free kick takers on the game, and that's because he's got really, really well-rounded stats. Now, I don't know how reliable he'll be. Only time will tell on that for me, but nice bit of work. Finds Dermich in on through, finishes clinically. Only time will tell with Çalhanoğlu. I do have a bit of a pet peeve with him, though, at the moment, or a bit of a qualm, and that is because his stamina is actually laughable. He can, realistically, you're looking at getting about 70, 75 quality minutes out of him, which, there's definitely places for players like that in real football. And I'd argue that that's, common depending on the player and the position. Well, maybe not super common, but it's common enough. But I will only keep Çalhanoğlu in if I'm winning, because for the last 15 minutes, if it's a draw or if I'm behind, I'm going to have to put somebody in that's going to be able to continuously run at defenses and kind of orchestrate the attack for me. And Çalhanoğlu does not have the fitness. So if you have him in one of your squads as a free kick taker or whatever, be wary that you're probably going to need a reliable substitute on the bench to come in and help out. This guy, amazing looking 4-3-3 Bundesliga squad. He's got the informed Thomas Muller, who is 98 attacking positioning, the highest in the game, as his attacking mid. Lewandowski up front. Was that Ribéry on the left, I think? I think it was Ribéry and not Royce, so I'm liking the Bayern Munich look right here. But nice work from Stalker. You see Danny Welbeck starting his run at the top of the screen. All I'm doing is waiting for him to get even with Alaba, and then that should be an easy through ball, and it was. if you see your players, especially if you know that you have players that have a high attacking work rate, Welbeck, I believe, is high. If you have Aguero is high-low, there are loads of players that have that high-medium or whatever it is. They're going to be more inclined to make runs to try to get in behind the defense. So just be wary that if you see them start to make that run, it's not a bad idea to throw, even if it's a 50-50 ball up, and kind of hope for the best and see what happens from time to time, especially in those tight matches. I will say Stucker, I only paid 350 coins for him. He's absolutely brilliant. Absolutely, very much, again, if you guys watch that 500 win episode, Stucker is very much like Hamuda in the sense that he, as far as box-to-box CMs go, or left mids or right mids go or whatever, he's fantastic. His passing is good enough. His dribbling is strong. His shooting is strong. Strong enough on both of those. His pace is good, and he's got decent physical as well, so he doesn't really get bodied out. And his work rates, I think he's medium, so he gets up, he gets back, but he doesn't do anything, super crazy. I'll play with my Legends team, and I'll use Ari and Robin on the outside, and it's basically, if I don't have good cover for him on that side, you can forget about it, because that is definitely a gap that can be exploited, because Robin with his low defensive work rate just isn't going to come back and help out. So this game actually turns into quite a rout. He subs on Cristiano Ronaldo at one point as well, instead of Lewandowski, which I thought was interesting. But while he had ball winners in his midfield, my only issue, if you're not a good possession player and really good at passing, I would not recommend that 4-3-3 number 4, because if you give up possession in the midfield, you are screwed, because you have nobody really protecting your back line. You have two CDMs. There's no CDM, there's no RDM or LDM. It's just basically a free run at them. So I came up against this guy in the final, and I figured if he made it all the way to the final with the team looking like this, he's probably going to be a pretty good player, and he was. It was just on an absolutely terrible connection. But he definitely was going to give me a run for my money. 4-4-2, generally not super impressed by it. Whatever custom tactics he had on, though, and he most definitely did, they were working, because his game plan was have everybody sit back and then just have basically Malapa, Mayuka, and Esvine, and I think it was Dyer was his right mid, just overlap and run at you the entire time. And you can see I lost it in midfield. That's what I had to be wary of, because he definitely had get in behind on those guys. And when you notice that your opposition strikers are playing that kind of get in behind style, it's not a terrible idea to set your team to defensive, because you're going to want to play a little bit more slowly anyways. I thought he was a little bit fortunate to find that cross, to find Malapa's head, and then it went off the bar, and then it went to his guy, and I was a little bit sad. But it was time for a change, and this is what I mentioned before with Çalhanoğlu. First thing I changed, though, I changed my instructions. I changed Dermich and Welbeck to get in behind, and I changed the attacking mid to stay forward, not come back on offense, because I wanted to be able to counter, and I thought that I would be able to counter against his back line. While they're both quick players in Rudiger and Akore, that doesn't mean that their positioning is not going to be a bit sketchy from time to time, or their marking is going to be a little bit off at time to time, because they are silver players. So 62nd minute, we play kind of a risky pass to Giovanni Dos Santos, and there's this lag that I was talking about, and that would happen so often that I wanted to throw my controller out of my window and just watch it crash. Actually, I wouldn't even be able to see it hit the ground, throwing it out of my window. I actually live in a pretty high up apartment at the moment. So 2-2, 90th minute, and this is, I cannot tell you, he made probably 5 or 6 of those tackles throughout this match that I was just like, you've got to be joking me. This is to the point of just being absolutely ridiculous. But you can see he steps up too high. Now my players are interested in getting in behind, play Dos Santos in, and it was only a matter of time before he took me down in the box. And he does so in the 90th minute, and I've been sketchy from penalties lately, guys. Last year, I felt like a god. I could put it in the side netting every time, felt unsavable. But that guy, Danny Welbeck, does the job for me in the 90th minute. Go on and celebrate, Danny. 3-2, going to be the final score on this one. He actually ends up rage quitting on out, which I'm not going to show all of it because it does this stupid little spinning screen for legitimately, I think it took like 10 minutes to get to that. that to let me know that I'd won. So we get a free pack, and it is beyond a steaming pile. Well, we get Hong-Min Son and Eric Lamela, who can definitely work into some squads for us before, but 28 defense and 29 defense, not exactly what you want for a box-to-box outside midfielder. Anyways, guys, that is where I'm going to leave it. If you guys did enjoy the long episode, make sure to drop a like on this video. Other than that, we'll have some Fatal out for you tomorrow or today, depending where you are. My name is Japes, and I will catch you all next time.